What's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? This is Carpo coming at you from the old Carpo After Dark series. Yada yada yada. I came out and I decided to have a cup of tea tonight. Some nights I have a cup of coffee, some nights I have a cup of tea, but I always have some form of caffeine. I guess that's just one of those things. But anyway, I wanted to make this video about kids and being a parent, and how when you're a parent, I don't really talk about being a parent a lot, although it is pretty much the all-encompassing focus of my life. Everything I do in life is based on being a parent. Once in a while, like now, when my youngest falls asleep, my 5-year-old's playing a game, I can step outside and make a quick video. But generally, it's not like I have the free time to just do what I want. And that's something we take for granted when we have it. What really got me inspired to do this video really was the idea that you can't be a parent and not get angry. At least if you have normal kids, you're going to get angry. And I mean normal in the nicest possible way, but if you have your average child is going to go through and throw tantrums, and you're going to have to make the choice of whether to just remain passive about it and just calmly handle the situation, which a lot of people seem to think they could do until they become a parent, or you have to actually get angry. One example is when your child runs out in the street, let's say, and you tell them no, and they keep doing it, and you have to yell at them or really put it into their mind. It's because you want them to be safe. It's not because you want to yell at them. You hate yelling at them, I hate yelling at them. But sometimes you have to do it. And I guess it's important to me to point that out, because with family and friends, we can choose to just walk away from the situation if we don't like what's going on. If something negative is impinging on our good vibe in our day, we can just walk away from it. With kids, you can't. Your kids depend on you. They are the ones that rely on you to show them the way. So, as a parent, you find that you have to always keep your best face. You always have to be rational. You always have to be fair. You can't pull the little games that you do with your friends or your family, where you're like, but you do this. If your kid says, something that you were doing, and you say, but you do this, it doesn't work, because they're a kid. So, we have to be better than that. Anyway, I've got a kid nagging at me right now for something. Hold on, I'll be right back. Well, there you go. There's the perfect example. See, a lot of the times when I make a video, that happens. I get interrupted, and that's fine. I just turn it off, and I usually don't upload it, or have, sometimes I'll redo it, or sometimes I just forget all about it. In fact, over half the videos I make, I don't upload. But we have to deal with that. My kid's in there, and he's asking me the same thing over and over. He's online. He's a super smart kid, like they all are. And he's on there, 5-year-old, playing these games on this website, and he keeps asking me, what do the instructions say? And I'm like, I don't even understand how to play these games. But I guess that's another important point to make, is that we don't give kids enough credit for what they're really capable of. And we treat them like lesser people, and like little, lesser people. I mean, they're, in many regards, kids are just as mature as an adult. They just don't know it yet, in a sense. Many of our things that we do are our values seem to come from the subconscious. Maybe they're programmed, a lot of it, but I'm talking about things like trust, honesty, guilt. We can't lie to our kids, but okay, let me give you an example. As a parent, you have to make the decision. Do you tell your kid about Santa Claus? Do you tell him that Santa's just fake, and then let him spend his whole childhood with all the rest of the kids who think he's real? Or do you just say, whatever, let the kid be a kid? And I've had both sides. I've tried to think of it from both sides as a parent. Like, I don't want to lie to my kid, but come on. I mean, I'm not going to go sit him down and tell him this and this and this aren't real, because being a kid is being a kid. I don't feel lied to because my parents told me that Santa was real, But my real point there is just that we have so many little decisions to make as a parent, as so many big decisions as to how to raise our kids. But some of the most important decisions are the ones we do day to day, like how we handle our kids when they ask us a question. Do we respond with the simplest answer, or do we make it, or do we give them the straight dope? And it takes tact. It takes the ability for an adult to realize, and think about what they're going to say a lot more than they would say just a random conversation. When a kid says, I wonder why this is this way, you say, oh, I don't know, but it doesn't. They want to know, if you can tell them, tell them. So, yeah. Being a parent is the hardest, most challenging, difficult, frustrating, and happy time of my life. And it's not the first time here, because, my other son's almost 21 now. He's my stepson, which I got together with my wife when he was 3. So I've been with him through the whole time and watched him grow up, went through the teen years, put myself in that situation and remembered how it was to be a kid. And I may not remember back to being 5, but I definitely remember back being a teenager. And those were some pretty intense, fun years. So here I am, almost 40 years old, sipping my tea out on my back porch in the evening, being a parent rather than harassing my parents. And I feel bad. My mom had to suffer through my nonsense and wrath, because my father died of cancer when I was about 15, and so she was forced to raise my brother and I, and he left home when he was like 13 or something, and it was just chaotic time, but I know that she tried. And so, see, all I can base my parenting on is how my kids respond to the parenting, because all my kids are different, and that's another thing. We make these blanket statements about rules of the household, and it's much more complicated. Some kids just don't respond as well to certain ideas, or threats are always something to be avoided unless they're followed through with. But every parent finds themselves making empty threats. So anyway, just some thoughts on being a parent. I'm looking here at Venus. I don't know if I can capture it here, but it's a beautiful, beautiful planet up there. Yeah, I need a good telescope lens. Have a good evening, everybody.